Hello friends, I'm Phoebe. Welcome to my music discovery journey. Now, I recently filmed a reaction to Sabaton's History Channel episode regarding the Primo Victoria video or song that they've done. So this is a follow-up and we're actually going to watch the song as requested by Lossov over on Ko-fi. Now Lossov says, as Saturday 6th of June is the anniversary of this, I thought you should hear this one. Possibly Sabaton's signature song, Primo Victoria. And that's what they said in the History Channel episode, that this was kind of where they figured out their sound and it really worked. And from the teasers that I got, it feels like it really fits. They're distinctive. And Joachim, their vocalist, has a very distinctive voice, as you will hear shortly. Now let's get my my lyrics up. This is all about the D-Day landings, which a lot of you will probably know. It's one of the biggest or most popular events in history. But that doesn't mean that everyone should know about it. And that's why I watched the history episode, to brush up on what happened. So let's have a little look, shall we?
Through the gates of hell!
Oh,
as we make our way to...
And also it's cut off the beginning, so let's start that again.
Through the gates of hell! As we make our way to heaven, through the Nazi lines. Primo Victoria.
So, they start off, and let's pause that once again. Sorry to keep starting and stopping. They mention this in the episode, that they start out with like no vocal, or no backup to the vocal. It's just all vocal. There's no instrument. And it's quite powerful to introduce it like that. So I'm going to play that bit one more time because it's kind of chilling.
Through the gates of hell, as we make our way to heaven, through the Nazi lines.
I love how it crashes in. First victory, I think, something like that. Oh, the guitars.
We've been training for years, now we're ready to strike. The great operation begins. We're the first waves on shore, we're the first ones to fall. Yet soldiers has fallen never. In the dawn, no pain, the rises of grace. His story's written today. In this burning inferno, where nothing remains but our forces and bombs on the beach. Aiming for heaven, no serving in hell. Victory's ours, our forces will fall. Through the gates of hell, as we make our way to heaven, through the Nazi lines. Primo Victoria, on the 6th of June, on the shores of Western Europe, 1944.
Okay, they even said D-Day upon us. So it starts out with like part of the chorus, that is, through the gates of hell as we make our way to heaven, through the Nazi lines, Primo Victoria. And also, just a bit of context. So D-Day was in 1944, June the 6th, as we said. It was the Allied invasion of Normandy, France, during World War II. And this would give us a bit more here as well. Through the gates of hell as we make our way to heaven. Gates of hell, German occupied France. There's a lot of carnage there and a carnage about to happen. It says here the German occupation of France was also considered an assault on liberty, as France was thought to be the nation of freedom. It also refers to something very difficult to beat, such as the German army, and emphasizes how many men it actually took to capture the beaches. D-Day is still the third or fourth most deadly day in American history, and this struggle is described in the gateway into tough German resistance. And then as we make our way to heaven, as we fight through, and it could be that we die, because a lot of people lost their lives fighting, especially the first waves of people who were attacked coming onto the beaches. But also maybe heaven is like a victory, like it's too good to be true, right? Or it's a win. Heaven could be a success, I would say. And then through the Nazi lines, because Nazi lines, Primo Victoria, it says here it's translated as foremost victory in Latin. So I guess that's what that says. We've been training for years, as soldiers would. Now we're ready to strike as the great operation begins. We're the first waves on the shore. We're the first ones to fall. Like I said a minute ago, that they were being attacked as they came to invade. Yet soldiers have fallen before, perhaps saying that this is not a new thing. In the dawn, they will pay with their lives as the price. History's written today, because it started off in the morning. The first wave, it says here, was 6:35 a.m. So in this burning inferno, know that nothing remains as our forces advance on the beach. I remember watching, they said it was an amphibious attack, and I was like, just thinking of frogs, really. But I realise it's coming from the water. And I think I've heard the term before, but I've never really registered, you know? Anyway, aiming for heaven through serving in hell. Victory is ours, their forces will fall. Hell, fall, doesn't quite rhyme, but it doesn't really matter. We know what they're trying to say, and it makes sense. So they're saying victory is ours, we're going to win this. Then back to the chorus. Through the gates of hell as we make our way to heaven, through the Nazi lines, Primo Victoria. On the 6th of June, on the shores of Western Europe, 1944, D-Day upon us. I remember they mentioned a few different place names. I didn't know, I had not heard of some of those place names before, like Gold. I remember that one. I can't remember the rest. And this was, I watched it to be fresh in my memory. But anyway, we can have a look at that later again, or refresh. Then let's see the next part of this. It's got such a Sabaton feel. Feels like a march. Oh. Ooh. Nice bit of guitar solo. That's nice. Nice. It says guitar solo in the lyrics, so I knew it was coming. We're going back. That was a really nice guitar solo, actually. It's like not overpowering, understated on purpose. I think it was really nice. Verse 2. We've been here before, used to this kind of war. We've fought this before. It says here 20 years before, the Allied forces had already been at war against Germany in the First World War and had fought multiple times on French lands. Crossfire grind through the sand because that was part of the scene. Our orders were easy. It's kill or be killed. As with any battle, if you don't fight and kill the others, kill your opponent, they could kill you, I guess. Blood on both sides will be spilled. That's what happened. A lot of lives were lost on both sides. On all sides, should I say. In the dawn, they will pay with their lives as the price. They were fighting through the night, I think. Is that right? The invasion of Normandy, France was held on the morning of the 6th of June. Fair. Maybe I was wrong there. But it started then anyway. History is written today. Now we are at war with the Axis again. This time we know what will come. D-Day or Operation Overlord was one of the most important events of the World War II. So it changed history quite a bit, it says. Yeah, when they say history is written today, this will go down in history. This will be talked about for many, many years to come. And even though when someone says D-Day, I don't always know the details of the story, but the D-Day is something that I've heard so many times throughout the years of my life, that it's something that has definitely had an impact. Even just recognizing that D-Day was an event that happened back then. Now we are at war with the Axis again. What does that mean? Here it says the Allies fought Germany before. Even though the German Empire was part of the Central Powers in World War I, opposed to the Axis powers in World War II, this line is a callback to the battles in France 25 to 30 years back. Some soldiers even fought in both wars. Bloody hell. I think in the history episode, I'm sure they were talking about how, because many lives were lost in various battles, they resorted to older soldiers and very young soldiers, because if you're using up your middle range and they're gone, what do you fall back on? Maybe that's why. But yeah, they had I think they said over 40s was considered old for a soldier, but you've got to use all you've got, I guess. So some fighting in both wars, that's, yeah, it would make sense if it was 25 to 30 years apart. Aiming for heaven through those serving in hell, victory is ours, their forces will fall. So we read that bit before, and then back to the chorus and the guitar solo. Oh, it's so nice. Dramatic.
6th of June 1944, Allies are in the war. Normandy, state of anarchy. Oh, aiming for heaven, no serving in hell. Victory ours, our forces will fall. To the gates of hell, as we make our way to heaven, to the Nazi lines. Primo Victoria, on the 6th of June, on the shores of Western Europe, 1944. D-Day upon us, through the gates of hell, as we make our way to heaven.
Another round.
Primo Victoria, on the 6th of June, on the shores of Western Europe, 1944. Primo Victoria.
That was nice how they ended with the vocal and no instrument to back it. That was a nicely rounded off, I think. Especially if you were playing that on a loop. Just kind of would flow nicely. That was really good. I really liked that. When I think of Sabaton and their sound, that is perfect. That's their signature style. There weren't as many rolling R's. in there that I'm used to, but still the way Joachim sings, it's just he keeps that style throughout every song, and I think that's really nice. It makes them stand out when you've got a signature sound that doesn't sound too much like this band or that band or heavily influenced by something. I think that really definitely helps, doesn't it? So that's good as well. And then in terms of the lyrics, there wasn't much else. 6th of June 1944, Allies are turning the war. Normandy, state of anarchy, Overlord, Operation Overlord. It says it was a pivotal moment in the course of World War II. Had it failed, the world as we know it would likely be very different. I mean, yeah, right? If history were to change or things were different, it would have a whole knock-on effect. You don't know what kind of butterfly effect that would have. However, its success marked a turning point for the Allies and perhaps the beginning of the end for the Third Reich. Warfare in general can be very chaotic, it says here. That's what it says. The state of anarchy as well. However, the sheer number of troops involved in the D-Day landings served only to amplify the chaos of the battle. Serving in hell is a term used in most of the military's infantry divisions after soldiers are fallen. They're said to still be serving in hell. Damn. And just victory is ours, their forces will fall. The rest of it, the chorus, through the gates of hell as we make our way to heaven through the Nazi lines, Primo Victoria, on 6th of June on the shores of Western Europe, 1944, D-Day upon us. And they just repeat that twice. They go in for another round at the end, and the Primo Victoria is vocal only. That's quite poetic. Very good. Very nice. Thank you, Losov, for that one over on Ko-fi. Thank you to anyone on Ko-fi or Patreon that supports the channel in that way. You don't have to, but if you want to join our supporters tier on Patreon, you get to feature at the end of my videos as a thank you. Links are below, but your time is the most precious gift that you can give me, and I say this every video because I mean it. I wouldn't be able to do this without your views and without your pushing of the algorithm. So really, really appreciate that. You could be spending that anywhere. So thank you for spending it with me. If you haven't already, please check that you've subscribed and please like this and comment to boost. And I will see you for another one soon. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.